welcome to my channel. My name is Jessie and today we are planning my May TBR. The past few months I've been just planning my TBR off the top of my head depending on what I'm in the mood to read at the end of the previous month, but this time I'm going to add a little bit more of an element of randomness to it because I already have two of the books I plan to read in May picked, so I will be using a random number generator to pick the next three that will be on my TBR. In order to do that, I've made a list of all the unread fiction books on my shelf and a couple of the books that I want to reread before I finish the duologies for them. And like I said, those are all on my shelf. They are listed in my notes app, numbered 1 through 35, and I'll be using Google's random number generator to pick a book to read, or to pick the 3 books on my TBR. Before we actually get to my May TBR, I just want to take a minute to remind you to please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel to make finding my content every Tuesday and every other Thursday just a little bit easier on yourself. So the first book on my May TBR is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. I plan on reading it as part of Chandler Ainsley's Throne of Glass read along, and this book follows Selena Sardothian, and she's in the salt mines for whatever happened in the Assassin's Blades short story or novella collection, which I actually DNF'd last month, but you'll hear about that next Tuesday. This book kind of picks up after those events, and in order to, I guess, to get her freedom back, this prince called Prince Dorian tells Selena that she has to compete in these trials to find his new royal assassin. I'm interested to see how I like the actual series, and I don't know if I have high hopes for it, but I'm interested. All the hype around Sarah J. Maas's books has me very interested, and I want to see if I like those books in that series. So I will be reading the ebook through my public library. I think the hold is like 2 weeks, so I probably won't get to it until the middle of the month, but I'm interested to see how it goes. The next book that's already on my May TBR is The Wicked King by Holly Black, and I don't know what this one's about. I haven't read the inside flap yet because at this point in time I haven't finished The Cruel Prince, but I'm wanting to read along to the Roomies Digest read along. I know they have another channel that they're doing the read along with. I don't remember who. Hopefully I'll have it like in the little bottom corner, that way you know who else is hosting the read along. But for the next couple months they're hosting, you know, 1 book a month, and so I'm making sure to add this to my May TBR, but I don't really know what it's about yet because I don't know how the first one ends, and I'm afraid that if I read the flap it could spoil the ending of the first one. But this is one I'm really excited to get to based off my current progress in The Cruel Prince. Anyways, I'm going to now use my iPad to randomly generate a number between 1 and 35 to pick the first book, the first random book at least, on my May TBR. So the first number is 28, and that is the Bromance Book Club. Number 28 was the Bromance Book Club, and I have like books and series listed just by the title of the first book, and I own the first 3 books in that series. So the only one I haven't read yet is Crazy Stupid Bromance by Lisa K. Adams. My sister is actually borrowing my physical copy of that book, so otherwise I would hold it up. But this book follows Alexis, and who was introduced in the first book, and this guy named Noah, who was introduced in the second book, and they seem to have the friendships to lovers trope. When this book follows Alexis, she's kind of, I guess, hit about of fame after, you know, whatever happens in the second book, and someone comes up to her and is like, hey, I'm actually your sister, and she kind of meets this long lost family, and she confides into her friend Noah, who's secretly in love with her. And there's just kind of a lot going on. I'm really excited to finally be getting to this book. My sister actually recently started reading the series. I think she is listening to the audiobooks and reading along to the physical books. And I know that she enjoyed the first 2 books, so I'm hoping she'll enjoy the third. And I'm excited to be getting to it sometime in May. Alright, and now I'm drawing the next one. The next number is 24. And 24 is Arsenic and Adobo. Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Mansala follows this woman named Lila. She's just moved back home with her family. She's working at her aunt's restaurant after like a pretty nasty breakup. And I think things are going okay. She's trying to help her family stay at this restaurant. And then all of a sudden, her ex-boyfriend turns out to be this really infamous food critic, and he dies at the restaurant, and she's apparently the only suspect. And so she's trying to help solve the mystery of what actually happened to him, because especially if, you know, I guess she's convicted, then her family's definitely at risk of losing their restaurant. It's kind of what I got from it. I ordered this as a book of the month book in April, and I was really attracted to the cover. I thought it was really interesting and pretty, and so I'm excited to get to this one. I have really high hopes. I got 28 again, so I'm going to redraw or regenerate. I got 24 again, so I'm also going to regenerate again. 22. And that is This Close to Okay. This Close to Okay by Lisa Cross Smith follows a therapist named Callie, and on her way home from work on Friday night, she comes across this guy named Emmett who looks like as though he's about to commit suicide, and so she saves him, or doesn't really save him, but she kind of talks him down and brings him home with her, and they spend some time together getting to know each other. She kind of withholds all of her identity and like her job from him. This is one that I actually started, I think back in January, and I DNF'd, but I am really interested in picking this book back up and seeing how it goes. I'm excited to hopefully be finishing it. I also want to include a new category of books that could potentially be on my TBR for the month. And so these are books that like I have on hold at the library, especially on Libby, that like while they're not technically on my TBR right now, there's always a chance they could come through sometime during the next month. The only book in this category this month is Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart, and I currently have it on hold on Libby, and it says I should be getting it in about 3 weeks. So I will most likely be reading it hopefully sometime in May. And this book follows 2 witches who are enemies, and they kind of unite to form an alliance to take down this common threat that they have. And the issue though is that power is intoxicating. Once you have power, you want more. This is a book that I've been hearing about since last summer. I saw the cover reveal last summer, and as soon as I saw it was already available on hold at my library, or actually at the Austin Public Library. Chandler Ainsley actually shared something on Instagram a few weeks ago. Apparently the Austin Public Library, as long as you're a Texas resident, even if you don't live in Austin, you can pay I think $22 a year and have access to the Austin Public Library on Libby and I think Overdrive and stuff. So I jumped at that chance, and that's actually how I'm going to read Witches Steeped in Gold whenever it becomes available to me. Anyways, those are all the books I hope to read in May. If you want to know exactly what I read in April, please feel free to come back to my channel next Tuesday for that video. Please feel free also to let me know in the comments what books you plan to read in May. And if you've read any of the books I've mentioned today, what were your thoughts on them? Did you enjoy them? Or are they books that are on your TBR? And I will talk to you next Tuesday. Bye.